said the down button?
Yes.
Cool. Hey guys, thanks so much for having me. My name's Cameron Bain, and I'm here with Beyond Pricing. Beyond Pricing is an automated dynamic pricing solution for Airbnb hosts and vacation rental owners and managers. We actually started as a property management company in San Francisco about 3 years ago, and our founder, Ian McHenry, priced some of the biggest hotels and airlines prior to this venture. He found that pricing was really difficult of those 30 listings and was looking for a solution and just simply couldn't find one because a lot of the solutions for hotels just simply didn't translate to the vacation rental industry. So we ended up building his own. About 6 months after that, we pivoted full-time to commercialize this product. And as you can see, this is an owner in Lake Tahoe. The blue line, as you see, is what they charge on a nightly basis throughout the year. Flat pricing for most of the year and increasing rates around Christmas and New Year's Eve and the summer. He roughly guessed the correct amount of, actually specific time to increase rates, but not nearly dramatically enough. The orange line is what our recommended rates would have been for this owner. So owners like this that were flat pricing throughout the year make between 40 and 60% more with our price recommendations. Many of you have accommodation industry backgrounds and understand that the Hilton and large airlines and hotels use sophisticated pricing and distribution platforms to push their listing sites and OTAs. Property managers and Airbnb hosts don't have the same luxury. There's simply not a solution for that. So Beyond Pricing set out to create a platform and solution to bring the sophistication of that hotels and airlines have been using for the last 2 decades to the vacation rental industry. We created a simple SaaS solution that allows a user to connect their Airbnb account, VRBO account, or property management software system to our platform and import those listings, and we create a nightly rate to push to their calendar once daily. There are 3 main variables that go into this: seasonality, day of week, and local events. The magnitudes for those variables differ by every market. And additionally, we price hyper-locally because one part of the city, the demand for one part of the city at any given point of time might differ from that of another part of the city. An example of this is the Dreamforce conference in the Soma district of San Francisco. People want to stay near that venue, and so our hosts last year were making 6 to 7x their base price for that one event. On the other side of town is Golden Gate Park, where Outside Lands Festival takes place. There's pretty much no increase in demand in Soma for Outside Lands, but there's a massive increase in the Inner Richmond and Inner Sunset. So what started as an internal tool used to price our 30 listings in San Francisco 3 years ago has now grown to over 250 markets worldwide. We've done $100 million in bookings with our prices and have over 40,000 listings on the Beyond platform. That's about 2% of the Airbnb market, and by our estimates, about 10% of total active listings on Airbnb. We also have dense growth in many of our major cities, including Paris, Amsterdam, and London, and are actually pricing 45% of the Tokyo Airbnb market. It's about time, so I'm looking forward to your questions. Thank you so much.
So in the hotel industry, you've got common standards, a king size room.
Correct.
In this market, you have completely different types of products, maybe in the same place. How do you take into account that?
It's way different than hotels and airlines. So they have the luxury of having identical inventory and lots of it. So a lot of the major hotels and airlines price based off of their own inventory. We look at macro analysis. So let's take Dreamforce, for example. There are, say, 952 bedrooms in the Soma district of San Francisco. If 600 of those are already booked for 6 months out, we know to increase rates for those. But the quality can be a huge, huge difference between the lowest and the highest of that. So what you do when you connect your account is set a base price, which is the starting point that we fluctuate rates, and a minimum price, which is the floor. We then have what's called a health score, which is a time-based occupancy feedback loop to let you know that if you're increasing rates or if you're getting bookings too quickly, you need to increase your base price or leave money on the table. And inversely, if you're not getting bookings, you need to drop that base price. So it works so we can price a $900 2-bedroom or a $200 2-bedroom.
It's consumer driven, so the consumer is going to, by their demand.
Correct. And it's actually more accurate than even what hotels are using to identify events.
Do your algorithms consider the prices of the properties that aren't in your
Yes.
program?
So all total addressable markets. So we receive public data from Airbnb, VRBO, and HaMoy on a daily basis. So regardless if they're on our platform or not. The more people we have in any given city, the better that our machine learning system to adjust those variables of seasonality, day of week, and local events is, but we look at the entire market regardless if they're on our platform or not.
Are the owners
approving once your system is recommending to increase the prices or lower them? Or do they actually approve them, or do they adjust automatically?
They adjust automatically.
Okay, so they're
once
giving
daily.
the whole revenue management over.
Correct. There is some customization aspects, so
Sure.
you can override a price if you disagree with us, and that'll save and stick. But the day-to-day changes happen automatically. And there's accommodation industry standards like last-minute bookings and orphan nights, which are like 1 and 2 night stays between existing reservations that are also cooked in the algorithms. That's why it's necessary to update once daily.
What was your revenue off $100 million in bookings?
We're on track to do about $1 million in revenue this year. We reached profitability 4 months ago, and we turned on revenue November of last year, and to date have done just over 400,000. So November through May.
Sorry, there is another company called PriceLab.
Yes.
That's doing kind of the same thing. How are you guys different?
Yeah, so Price Labs looks at comps, which is what other people are charging in the area. We don't like to associate with comp analysis because you don't want to cheat off of a C student. And additionally, if everyone's using that, it'll just be a price race to the bottom. It's better to get an accurate understanding of what the true base price market value is, and with our system, be able to adjust from there rather than looking at comps.
And how do you make hosts aware of your solution?
We got a lot of press early on because we were the first. Total transparency, Airbnb has released a tool like this last April. They created an automated version of it last November. But we see the vacation rental marketplace actually moving multi-channel. And as you know, with hotels, it wouldn't make sense for any hotel chain to take a marketplace's suggested rates. If they're multi-channel, you need a third party for that. And that's kind of our next expansion into the PMS systems. We're working on integrations with HomeAway, their V12 system, Streamline, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but catering to the larger traditional property managers.
So essentially your model would be to, based on what you show for this property in Tahoe, it increased drastically, essentially, the price by 40%. Wouldn't that take away kind of the people that are actually booking vacation rentals today? Because people are booking it because it's cheaper than hotels and because they're saving. So wouldn't that kind of slow down the demand?
I think optimized revenue rates, as we've seen with hotels and airlines, the demand for vacation rentals because of cheap price is not the driving factor for people booking them. Airbnb's price tips, I think, are kind of along that mindset. They're consistently drastically lower than ours because it's as if you wanted to sell your iPhone on eBay. They wouldn't tell you exactly what the market value is, probably slightly less, because they want the transaction to happen on that marketplace. So for that reason, I think people that it's not sustainable to have underpriced vacation rentals as the reason people are booking units.
So just along those lines, you claimed you increased the average daily night by 40%?
No, that's throughout the year or month, depending on.
So it's total revenues? Total revenues,
yes. Okay. And some of our most sophisticated property managers that have dedicated pricing analysts that have tons of historical booking of their own internal stuff see about a 10 to 15% increase. And those are property managers with hundreds of listings on dedicated property.
In terms of your exit strategy, I imagine Airbnb was one of the potential acquirers. Is that door shut now that they've come out with their own product?
Airbnb likes to do things internally. They've had a couple small acquisitions, mostly for talent. So that was never the goal. And to be honest, Airbnb is all the craze recently, but vacation rentals existed prior to that. And in the traditional vacation rental markets, Airbnb is actually trying to push because they're still losing to the HomeAways and VRBOs. So I'm not a founder, so speaking on behalf of the acquisition strategy, not exactly sure what that is, but now that we can be multi-channel and be in these core property management software systems, we're the first dynamic pricing solution to those. I think the revenues are attractive enough to stay independent.
And last question, are you still raising money?
We raised $1.5 million seed round last March. Like I said, reached profitability 4 months ago, and going to defer to my founders if you guys want to be put in conversation with them.
And do you cover, are you global?
Yes, so 250 markets. Like I said, we pressed 45% of the Tokyo Airbnb market, got a lot of early press there, and they are a very property management driven marketplace and have a lot of people that the managers all talk to each other. So that's why we saw such dense growth there, we believe.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.